Anglian peasant by an English army. A Gael by Golloch. Presbyterian tortured by Mary's men. Tim shot through the head by an Orangeman. Let me now lie in peace. Put me in the earth with decency and thoughtfulness.
My lords and ladies, children too, a welcome to one and all of you. For all our players, I speak this word, for I am the Lord of Bannockburn. So, gather round and watch and weigh this story that we tell today. We don't sell culture, fashion, or soap, but try to find a cause for hope. There's not been much truth to tell. The past 10 years were close to hell. Relationships. I've lost the strand. Between this spiky Scottish land and England, smooth and strong and bland. That's our theme, 1,000 years long. We trust you're feeling fit and strong. Up there lies Scotland. Give her a cheer. And here lies England's watery beer. Yes, a healthy mix of prejudice and fact. No wobbly high-wire balancing act. Our play with Scotland sets the scene. And here she comes, the Pictish Queen. Bruja, O King of the Picts. Translate. Nobody speaks Pictish anymore.
Are you wise? Are you surprised that Picts end up with nothing?
Nothing? Speak English.
Nothing! Nothing at all! That's what we Picts end up with. Mad Bruja! Mad Beradia! Mad Beridi! Magnaxton! She'd like to remind you that our kingdom stretches from Orkney to Argyll, from Ullapool to Edinburgh, and all the land north of the Forth and the Clyde is divided into smaller Pictish kingdoms, who all pay tribute to King Bruja, her son. That's me, by the way. And she's never been so insulted in her life. Naxton Diapur, Blas Valutas, Who's Conbat, Kanatu Lagama, Radeadareus, Ulag, Ulag. She says the Irish are coming over in dribs and drabs to pick the tatties, and they're not going home.
There were no tatties in Picts land.
I don't care. We Picts had no concept of history. Farkas! Farkas! Oh dear! Here come the Britons, and they're getting terribly excited. Hello, Britons! We're coming to eat you up. Cumberland sausages, lovely. Hey, up! Happen! Trouble a millie if I go make a thump.
Oi, oi! What are you saying in the strange language?
The bloody Irish are coming. in the name of all that's permissive might you be?
I'm Edwin, and this here is Edwina. And we are Angles from Denmark originally, but we've been here for a long time now, and we're peacefully farming the fruitful plains of the Lothian. And we make love, not war. By the way, who are you?
We are the Scots.
We are free sons of Eric, king of Dalriada Ireland, and we come here to found a new Dalriada Scotland. Lorne here will grab hold of some land and call it Lorne. Fergus will grab Arran, Bute, Cowell and Kintyre, and I myself will hold Green Isle and Fair Dura. And what you ignorant Picts call Alba shall be called Scotland after us.
Never catch on.
And our grandchildren and their grandchildren will rule over this Scotland from Windermere to Cape Wrath, from the Old Man of Hoy to Whitby.
From home, we must send peace, please. Waiting like a sign to wearing this fine for a long way. Our land, hill and sea. Our land will be free and fair. We're Scots lads, we're motherland, we sail from Annie. But we'll fight if you taught us money. Our land, hill and all your land and
Poor Scotland wasn't rich in corn-ground land, or gold, or armies. But if Scotland can hunt together the sum of her parts, then I, William the Lion, King of all Scotland, can take her into the community of nations alongside all others, no matter how proud.
Rushing from the coastline, rushing on the river, dropping from the sky like a hummingbird, Scotland.
So, after St. Columba and St. Mungo and St. Ninian and St. Kentigern had done their work and given Abdi a common creed, then Kenneth, the son of Alpin, united the Scots and the Picts under their matriarchs, and the Picts joined with the Angles to fight against the Strathclyde Britons, and after a while a sort of peace was made.
Ha! In Scotland, a peace made is rarely a peace kept. Every time a poor farmer scratched the ground to sow his barley, some great Egypt of an earl raided and ravaged. Aye, a bloodthirsty, venomous history. Something undoubtedly was needed to pull us all together. And there it is, knocking, forever knocking, at our door.
We were united, God bless them, by the English. We fought together as Scots to keep them out. And to keep this peace, our kings had to marry their princesses. Oh, and that was why my grandfather, King David, when he was only 8 years old, had to ging to the English court, which, as it turned out, was completely French.
Here, he learnt a trick or two about how it's done. It's a system called feudalism. You buy up a bunch of French noblemen, give them bits of your countryside so they can collect rent, build castles, raise armies, and terrorize the peasants. What a wonderful system. And Scotland was missing out. David, King of Scots, was not happy. Say ah. Go on, the poor guy's getting off feudalism. Say ah. So, where did he get some? Why, from England. Then, as now, the Scots ruling class came up from London on the 12th century shuttle, the feudal 125. Up came the adventurers, the mercenary aristocracy, the planted ruling class, as if the Scottish Tory Party annual conference, and with the same intention, to bring law and order to the Scots. The Lascelles and de Soules, the Burnets and Oliphants, those who called themselves de Merivia and became the Murrays.
They arrived and gratefully accepted Grun for King David. They penetrated northwards beyond Inverness as far as Dingwall, westwards into Argyll, and southwards deep into the heart of the Galwegians as far as Stranraer. Now why they did, they built their castles and moats like Belfast barracks.
And soon, the old Scots earls were knitted into the system, and import and native were joined together by marriage and dowry to hold the people down, to quell rebellion, and to grow ever richer and mightier under the protection of the crown, the monarch, under William of Lion, King of all Scotland.
Well, well, Maloons, fit like. Man, but you're a fine bunch of feathery footreds today, though. Come on in, away you go, I've got work to do. Chop, chop. Now, you see, before I was king, I was also Earl of Northumberland. Oh, that was part of Scotland then and now, you see. But then Henry of England took Northumberland away from me, and I wasn't looking. I was out feeding the hens at the time. Ah, well, I'm a one out to get some of it back. I'm off to Harry, you must say.
Harry, Harry.
Come on, lads.
William the Lion, the King of the Scots. I'll teach you a lesson you'll never forget.
Oh, dearie me.
This is the treaty and settlement which William, King of Scots, has made with his lord, Henry, King of the English. William, King of Scots, has become the liegeman of the King for Scotland and for all his other lands, and has sworn fealty to him as his lord. All the bishops, abbots, and clergy of the realm of the King of Scots shall swear fealty to the King as liege lord. The King of Scots, and David his brother, and the barons and his other men, have also granted to the King that the Church of Scotland shall henceforward owe such objection to the Church of England as it should do. To guarantee to the King and Henry his son and their heirs that this settlement will be strictly observed, the King of Scots has delivered to the King the castles of Roxburgh, Jedburgh, Berwick, Edinburgh, and Stirling, to be at his complete disposal. And for maintaining the castles, the King of Scots will pay from his revenue, as the King may desire.
And Henry's soldiers sat throughout Scotland, from Aberdeen to Roxburgh, and our hostages wasted themselves in London, until the great day came, and the cruel King Henry died.
And then, my dear good companion Richard, that was known as the Lion-Hearted, soon made amends. He gave us back our own Scottish land, removed all his greedy English soldiers, and cancelled all Henry's ransoms and claims upon us. Man, but that's better already. We agreed that we could live together as two separate nations in the one island in mutual respect. And so for a time we did. For nearly 50 years we believed that there was such a thing as the Kingdom of Scotland, and that I was in charge of it. The laws that I made were just and obeyed.
In 1214, William, the Red-Faced, William Garth, Harsh William to the Gael, Leo Justitii, the Lion of Justice to all, died. With Scotland independent, at peace, and standing alongside the other nations of Europe as a sovereign state.
I see England as a tortoise. No, a monster turtle. Its warm heart and soft, rich body secure within, pleasuring itself on blackcurrant leaves and raspberries, making a solemn progress through the fecund gardens of Europe, coupling to its satisfaction with turtle princesses, its cold lizard eye blinking from prize to prize, betraying to the world neither joy nor sorrow. I see England as a great crustacean in need of a shell, an uncrackable carapace, an armor of surrounding lands hard and shaped to England's will. But I shall be a great king. My England, a great nation. France is the nearest. I have enough of France. Normandy, of course. Gascony I conquered. Looking west to Wales, I took her in a week. My son shall be Prince of Wales. That nation now a principality to decorate, a baby's cradle. Ireland, my armies found the Irish kings willing to bend the knee. But Scotland, they make allegiances with Norway and with France. They trade with Denmark, Flanders, whom they please. Their kings may marry whom they choose, yet I am their feudal lord. They owe their fealty to me alone, to their superior. What's this? King Alexander dead, fell from his horse in fight, and the heir to the Scots throne is a 3-year-old girl, Margaret of Norway, and they've sent for her across the sea to the court of King Eric. She may never arrive.
To Norway o'er the fame, the king's doctor o' Norway, 'tis thou mun bring her hame, 'tis thou mun bring her hame. Make ready, my merry men our gate ship sails the morn. Now ever lack my master dear, I fear a deadly storm. I fear a deadly storm. I saw the new moon late yestreen, the old moon in her arm, and if we gang to see, mister, I fear we'll come to harm. I fear we'll come to harm. How far, the Aberdare, 'tis 50 fathoms deep, and there lies good Sir Patrick's fence, the Scots lords at his feet. We the Scots lords at his feet.
Oh dear me, she's dead. Now what will they do? They have no heir.
I am the king! The crown was settled on me! I, Robert Bruce the Elder, known as the Competitor, have waited over 80 years for this day. I am the oldest grandson of Earl Henry, and the oldest living male heir of King David. Let no man deny it.
Tanistray is the more ancient custom of our country, to gather together those with close ties to the throne as I come and have, and for our peers to choose the wisest, most powerful, most suitable candidate for the throne, the man to whom they would most readily bend the knee. Myself.
It is the custom of this country to inherit where there is no male heir to the oldest daughter. And the oldest daughter's oldest daughter is none other than Devergwila, who is my mother. Through her, I, John Balliol, inherit the kingdom of Scotland. Let no man deny it.
There were 15 of them, including King Eric of Norway. Each one more positive than the next, and all of them ready to fight for it. Oi! It was common practice in situations like this to invite a friendly monarch to adjudicate. And who better, they thought, the nice King Edward of England. Oh, grandmama, what big teeth you've got.
lords, earls, bishops, and freemen of Scotland, it is my great pleasure to review your great causes. First of all, of course, I shall acquire a cuisine, which makes over Scotland to be my position, in order, of course, to dispose of it to whichever competitor has the most to recommend him.
This is no judge. This is the hangman. He needs, he writes, to know, should I succeed, would I swear homage, owe fealty, and submit the King of Scotland to England's Majesty himself? Edward, this I cannot, I will not do.
Then, quite clearly, inheritance by the male line is not in the best tradition of Scotland. Robert Bruce, I find your claim invalid. John Bailey, most servile and obsequious of friends, your country's crown belongs to you alone. Let all in Scotland hear my judgment. Your king is John Balliol. Long live King John.
Long live King John.
Good. So kiss my ass.
Of all the kings in Scotland's scabby Hall of Fame, Toom Tabard, none has brought her greater shame.
And be it known that whereas our dear brother Edward, our superior lord and feudal master, is making war upon the King of France, he earnestly requires us, his viewers, to prepare a great army to assist him, to present itself ready for battle with 4,000 mercs to pay for its victuals at the port of Dover in 8 weeks' time.
No! No!
It is moments such as these that make a pleasure out of duty. To evacuate such a turd, when a country is mere booty.
When we first raid Dunetry, the day was dying, the wild birds calling, wind was sighing, the leaves were falling. Silent and weary, but closer together, we urged our steeds through the faded heather. When we first read Dunetry, when we next read Dunetry, our bridles were ringing, our hearts were dancing, the waters were singing, the sun was glancing, as blithely our voices rang out together, as we brushed the dew from the blooming heather. When we next read Dunetry.
This is the forest of Selkirk, that you call Ettrick Forest. These folk here are outlaws. Aye, outlaws. And for why? Well, you see, the King of England is King of Scotland now, and he's put his English sheriffs into every town to keep us down. You see that man? William Wallace.
When we strike, we kill. And then we're nowhere to be seen until we strike again.
Guerrilla warfare, invented in Scotland in 1297 by that man there, William Wallace.
Wallace bled, Scots one bruise has often led. Welcome to your glory head.
Now, King Edward got wind that Wallace and Murray and the likes of myself were looking fit to chase his English out altogether. More and more Scots were running to join us, and more bastard English were getting red collars. So he woke up his Duke of Surrey and sent him up here to squash us flat. Ha! No chance, man, no chance. You see, we were up in the Abbey Craig at Stirling, just waiting and watching. That's all, just waiting and watching. Down below us was the old Stirling brig out of the fort. Well, it's just a wee nary thing. You can only get out at 2 at a time. Against your hour, you're up to your knees and bog. Oh, here they come. Here they come.
Let him follow me.
Tell your commander, we are not here to make peace, but to do battle to defend ourselves and liberate our kingdom. Then let them come on. This we will prove in their very beard.
By of legends, rules and games, by of sons and several chains, we will train our dearest dames, one day shall be free. Lay the proud usurpers low, tyrants fall in every foe, liberties in every blow, let us do or be.
Good! Crushing and slaughtered. Good! His body mutilated. Good! Half my army led into bog. Good! Good! With no way to retreat, no way to advance, and no way to send them help. Good! 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 And now this Wallace and his band of outlaws reigns triumphant over Scotland. My sheriff stood out. My majesty, a mockery. And not content, he rides down into Durham, down into Carlisle, plundering and murdering with a cold, cruel malice. He has not yet seen the half of my malice, my cruelty, the coldness of an Englishman with vengeance in his heart. We shall take this womanizing upstart Scot and tear his limbs from his body while he is still alive.
Edward sent up all of England's strength to crack the nut of Scotland. And at Falkirk, Wallace and his men were overrun. Wallace was once again a fugitive with an ever-dwindling band. Thousands of English soldiers hunted him, but while they were searching Ettrick Forest, he was in Dromalbin. While they were beating over the hills of Speyside, he was in Fife, or ejecting the Bishop of Reading's men from the Castle of May on the coast of Caithness. It was the common people of Scotland who were for Wallace, who fed him, concealed him, guided him through the wild country. The reward for his betrayal was more than a poor man could dream of, but not one of them sold him. It was while he was in Glasgow he was betrayed, but not by a poor man, by the Earl of Menteith. No one tried to rescue him. Not one of us raised a finger. But we knew what was to come.
When we last read Dunetry, the wind was shifting, the storm was waking, the snow was drifting, my heart was breaking. But never again will we ride together in sun or storm through the mountain heather. When we'll last read Dunetry.
He was tried in Westminster Hall and sent to Smithfield to be hanged. He was cut down before he was dead. His belly was slit open and his bowels removed, and his penis cut off while he was still alive. His heart, lungs, liver, and entrails were torn from his body and thrown in a fire. Then his head was cut off. It was stuck on a pole on London Bridge, where it remained, gazing up the Thames towards the city of London. Within a year, I, Robert the Bruce, decided I could collaborate no longer. I would make myself king of Scotland and drive the English from my land. One man stood in my way to the throne, the Red Comyn. He also claimed the crown of Scotland for himself. I met him in a churchyard in Dumfries. I decided to resolve the question.
TV cannot seem that set of speed.
Where are all these men who are supposed to be Scotsmen, eh? My blessed husband calls himself the Earl of Buchan, but he's so far in with the English, he's taken to living in Leicestershire. My nephew calls himself the Earl of Fife. He's so far in Edward's servitude, I dare not call him here to school to pit the crown on bold Robert's head. So I'll do it myself. For I am Isabel of Fife, and this family has I crowned the kings of Scotland. Come out for your hidey-ho, your little warren of guilt, your noble bunnies of Scotland. Leave off tugging at your mammy's dug and stand up for Scotland. If you didn't want to end up the servants of the English, step out into the sunshine and make your way to Scone and declare for King Robert, the first of Scots.
Die like your Wallace! Die like a spider! Die like a phalanx!
I made my way quietly to the coast of Antrim, where the old wandering king aroused little comment, being a not too uncommon sight. And if I ever needed to look at a spider, it was there on Rathlin Island at that time. It was there that I realized the full beauty of the way that Wallace fought. We would never defeat the English in open battle, nor could we resist them in great castles. Our strength was that we were in our own country, and we were experiencing a new emotion that was more than self-interest, more than the greed of a clutch of ruling families, more than the simple reaction of a peasant to terror. We were feeling desire for the freedom of our nation.
I have brought power and safety and domination. Now that I am old, I will not see my life's work undone by some rampant Scottish earl. I have plans for Scotland. For her own good, she should hear what I say. For her own good.
And so the day dawned I had never wished to see. 20,000 English, Welsh, Irish, French, Flemish, German soldiers in 10 brigades with their massive war horses and thousands of archers against 6,000 Scots with spears, axes, and broadswords. I said to my captains, "Do you want to fight this battle?" They all said they did. So we will fight. Today is the 24th of June, 1314. This is the land above the Bannockburn. You may not enjoy learning the dates of battles any more than I enjoy fighting them. But learn this. If we lose this battle today, then Scotland will cease to exist and the English will rule us forevermore. But if we win, Scotland will have her freedom again. Until the English find other means of taking it away. English were thrown out. Even the Pope at Avignon gave his blessing after Bernard of Linton wrote him in behalf of all Scots living and still to be born, a letter which will stand long after I am forgotten.
For as long as but 100 of us remain alive, never will we, on any conditions, be brought under English rule. It is in truth, not for riches, nor glory, nor honor that we are fighting, but for freedom, for that alone, which no honest man gives up, but with life itself.
1 month before my death, the English ratified the Treaty of Edinburgh, which left Scotland independent and at peace.
The inhabitants of the north of our island are a wild, barbarous people, living on a great field of stone and ice, where nothing will grow, and where birds do not lay eggs, but drop their fledglings from the branches of a tree, where it is dark all winter long, and where they say the devil himself holds his earthly court. That's what I wrote about Scotland, and I will not have my ambitions for a great country such as England thwarted by its miserable inhabitants. My Lord Arran, we have treaties to ratify.
You must know, Your Majesty, that I am a Hamilton, and we of the House of Hamilton are of royal descent. Indeed, our claim to the Scottish crown is second only to that of the House of Stuart. Indeed, there are some in my family who would say that our claim is the greater.
What do you want, Arran?
A fair hearing for my claim, Your Majesty, and perhaps prospects for its advancement, loyal to you and to England as we are.
Ratify the treaties, Arran.
Certainly. Perhaps some expenses?
Nay, not one groat.
Then I must confess I can no longer hold back the sentiments of the Scots Parliament, which are for the Old Alliance with France, which respects our sovereignty, and against allegiance with an old enemy which seeks to eat us up.
Oh, this country is impossible. These people are slippery eels. Nay, ungraspable snakes, rather. My kindness and subtle goodwill have not been appreciated. Very well. Put Scotland to sword and fire. Burn Edinburgh town. Sack Leith. Burn and subvert it and all the rest. Putting man, woman and child to fire and sword without exception. What does this mean? You are in my debt, my lord.
After a wooing as rough as that which Scotland received at the point of your sword, we couldn't expect a peaceful or an equal marriage. The French army will protect us now.
Damn the French army! Oh, where now can I find a man who will seize Scotland for God and then deliver her to me?
For the Lord, I have endured torments for the Lord, I will kill for the Lord.
Master Knox, I will provide you with English armies and English gold to assist you in ridding your country of the whore of Babylon, the Pope of Rome and all his servants.
I need only God and his servants.
See where your fellow Protestants are burning, where stake and fire consume God's elect all over Scotland.
I go in God's name.
Then I die a happier man.
The tyrants of this world will never prevail against God's truth. yet because they are bound to their master the devil and his lieutenant the Pope, these poisoned papists persecute the members of Christ. But have they been given power at their pleasure? Not so, brethren, not so. O Lord, the tyrants of this world are loosed by thy hand to punish us for our former ingratitude. But when thou hast corrected us a little, then wilt thou break their jawbones and wilt shut them up in their caves again, that the generation and posterity following will praise thine holy name before thy congregation. Amen. Who are you?
I am Mary, your queen.
You may be queen of Scotland, but God himself is king in the hearts of your people. God is your king. From now on, the story of our people will not be the story of kings and queens, but of God and his subjects. Go, you have sinned. You are a wanton, a harlot, guilty of murdering her husband. Go!
And who will be your king?
Leave your son James. We will be ruled by him. So long as he in turn is ruled by us and embraces the Protestant faith. Go! Your cousin Elizabeth in England will make you most welcome.
My fame. Grim vengeance yet shall whet a sword that through thy soul shall gain. The weeping blood in woman's breast was never known to thee, nor the balm that draps on wounds of woe, free woman's pitying ye. God keep thee frae thy mother's face, or turn her hands to thee, and where thou meet'st thy mother's friend, leave them for
My grandfather, Henry Tudor, said once of this divided island of Britain, the greater shall draw the lesser. So it has proved to be. The infant James is ruled by Scots nobles, whom I and my dear Lord Cecil see fit to approve of. The Scots are bound to England by the Protestant faith, by the greater force of our arms, by the similarity of our tongues, by commerce, and by mutual need. It is England's desire which dictates her foreign alliances and enmities. It is not yet complete, not yet total. That only a complete incorporating union will bring. Scotland will cease to exist at least as an opponent of England's will. The greater has drawn the lesser.
Oh, and when she died, so I, James, the impotent king of Scotland, oh, when she died, so the lesser I, James, and my people were steward, and my country, Scotland, oh, when she died, so the lesser drew the greater, and England fell to me, must sail, God's anointed, the absolute monarch of Scotland and England. I am the husband, and the whole isle is my lawful wife. I am the shepherd, it is my flock. I am the head, it is my body. I hope, therefore, no man will be so unreasonable as to think that I, that am a Christian king under the gospel, should be a polygamist and husband 2 wives, or that I, being the head, should have a divided and monstrous body. I am James VI of Scotland, and James I of England, and now James, King of Great Britain, do hereby appoint my commissioners from the Scots Parliament to meet with the commissioners of the Parliament of England and Wales to draw up such acts as will be needful for their complete union. How say my English Parliament? No! How say the Estates of Scotland? No! It'll come. It must come.
The king is o'er the border gain in London for to dwell. A friends we bond we England be, for he buys there and sell, and will gang nae mair a row.